will have the top of their lineup, Siobhan, Stewart, and Moultrie to face Ueno. And hoping to only be facing a 3-run deficit here, but Moore needs to do some work. Nobody out here in the 7th. There's a drive into left field. Conversation, and now stepping up to make the catch is Moultrie for out number 1. That will bring up the catcher, Yukiko Mine. Mine with a double and a walk in this game. Runner at first, Kawano, with 1 out here in the 7th inning. Mine tries to lay down the bunt and fouls it off for strike 1. Japan is the only team without a loss through the round robin and the medal round competition. The U.S. was undefeated in round robin, but dropped by Japan 6-1 in the medal round and had to come back to defeat Australia to make it here to the gold medal game. Japan looking for a clean sweep in this tournament. 1-1 pitch for Moore, swung on, fouled by Mine, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See this pitch on the inside corner. We've seen a lot of that today. A lot of these athletes striking that ball down onto the foot.
Fastball inside, called strike 3 on Mine. Jessica Moore gets the call, and her first strikeout of the game. 2 outs for Haruna Sakamoto, the second baseman. Sakamoto with a 2-run double in the first has struck out and grounded out since. It's a fastball outside, ball 1. Pitch misses low, 1-1 to count. Designated player Manami Sato on deck, hoping to get a chance here in the 7th inning. Ball fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count.
Well, that's one of the things that does so well, is that Sakamoto does so well, is just foul off pitches until she gets the one she wants. We saw her do that in her first at-bat of the game before she delivered that timely hit.
Outside, 2-2 the count. Well, trying to focus on this batter. You see Moore working the softball in her glove, trying to get the right grip, depending on the pitch. Focusing in on the sign from the catcher plaza. A little dribbler over the head of the pitcher to the shortstop Fox. Makes the play in time, and that's it for Japan in the 7th inning. Last chance time for the United States. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's Japan 4, the U.S. 1 in the gold medal game of the International Softball Federation Women's World Championship. Can't even shut everybody off. Raven Siobhan is going to be leading it off here in the 7th inning. They've manicured the hole in front of the mound, but look at the one that Ueno has dug for herself right in front of the pitching rubber.
Well, that's important to realize how much you drive off that pitching rubber. A lot of people think it's flat to the ground. It just is the X that marks the spot where you start, and that is not the case. That pitching rubber is a block of basically hard rubber that sinks down into the ground that you can push and drive off of. Yukiko Ueno uses her legs very effectively, and that's what the top pitchers in the world do.
Raven Siobhan, 1 for 3, taps it toward third, bobbled and thrown late. That's going to be an infield hit as Yamamoto couldn't get it out of the glove, and Siobhan with great speed beats it out again. So once again, the U.S. with the lead runner on.
Well, Raven Siobhan is just going to get this ball down, and with all that speed, that's all she's looking to do is hit that ball to the right side, excuse me, left side of the infield. It's a longer throw for the left side of the infield. Yamamoto with that slight little bobble, that's all that Siobhan needs to be safe at first.
Kelsey Stewart, the right fielder, steps in. Perfect afternoon, 3 for 3, scored the U.S. only run in this game. We're on the runner at first. Stewart drives it to left field, but right at the left fielder, Nayayoshi, for out number 1. Back to first, Siobhan, and that'll bring up Michelle Moultrie. Moultrie 1 for 2 with a single and a sacrifice bunt. U.S. needs 3 to extend this and put it into the international tiebreak.
Well, and that's going to be tough because Yukiko Ueno coming into this game and giving up only 1 run. It was unearned. She gave up 1 earned run here in this game, but when you talk about how hard it is to score off of Yukiko Ueno, her statistics for the week show it all. Very difficult.
The Japanese coach positioning his defenders for Moultrie, who swings and fouls it back.
And the ball goes off of Mine, the catcher. It's just fouled back. It goes right off of her forearm.
Take another look at it, and Ueno in to give her a little time to help her walk it off.
Goes right off the forearm.
The trials and tribulations of a catcher. You get beat up on a daily basis behind the dish.
What do they call the gear? The tools of ignorance?
That's exactly right.
You gotta wonder who wants to put those on.
Moultrie tries to check the swing on the high rise ball, but can't lay away, and is down on strikes. That is strikeout number 5 for Ueno. And the last chance for the U.S., Val Arioto, the first baseman, 0 for 3 in this ball game. Pitch to Arioto is in there for called strike 1. Arioto is grounded to second, struck out and flied to right. Hasn't been as productive of a world championship as she might have hoped, but she's got a chance to change that right here. Pitch rising up and out of the strike zone, 1-1 to count. Japanese fans sensing a second straight gold medal championship about to happen. 1-1 delivery. Misses outside for ball 2. Japanese dugout ready to erupt in celebration if they could record this final out. 2-1 delivery from Ueno. Fouled off to the right side, 2-2 the count. So the U.S. down to their final strike here in the gold medal game of the International Softball Federation Women's World Championship.
in Japan, having a very successful summer. Working very hard for this moment.
2-2 on the way to Ariato, down low. And it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, this at-bat kind of sums up Team USA. This is a very young team. They have battled. They've gotten on base. They have not really been able to get the timely hit, but they've never given up. Down a 3 spot immediately after the first inning. Tried to make something happen every single inning. You know, hats off to Team USA on how hard they've worked to try to come back in this game.
Pitch low to Ariato for ball 4. So the tying run at the plate in the person of Lauren Gibson. And Gibson has home run power, no doubt about it. Has a couple in this tournament and hit one yesterday against Canada deep to center field, way up in the bleachers. It had no trouble getting out of the stadium. Now we're going to have a runner at first base, Ken Erickson, coming over to discuss it. And coming out to run for Team USA is Destiny Martinez, former University of Oklahoma player, played on a College World Series championship team for Patty Gasso. And she'll run at first base for Ariato. So Martinez at first, Siobhan at second, and at the plate, Lauren Gibson.
See if Gibson can do something that the rest of her teammates have been able to do so far in today's game against Yukiko Ueno, and that's get the big blow, the big hit to really change the momentum and the score of this game.
Ken Erickson talking to Lauren Gibson down from the third base coaching box, shouting out some instructions. And Gibson steps in, drove in the game's only run on a grounder, fielder's choice, back in the 5th inning. Has walked and struck out. And a changeup that time in there for strike 1. Laura Berg over with the runner, Destiny Martinez at first, Raven Siobhan at second. Gibson represents the tying run at the plate. And Ueno at the 0-1 pitch, high and tight, 1-1 to count. The U.S. was able to keep it within striking distance, and now they've got an opportunity here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gibson takes in there again an off-speed pitch, it looked like, for strike 2.
Well, that's the one pitch that Gibson has been pulled on today. She did end up getting a hit off of that when Yukiko hung that pitch up a little bit, but that's the one pitch I think Yukiko's confident in throwing to Lauren Gibson.
Once again, last chance for the U.S. 1-2 the count to Gibson. Runners at first and second. Gibson chases the pitch, swings and misses. And strike 3. That is the final for the gold medal championship game. Japan defeats the U.S. 4-1. Ueno with strikeout number 7 in the ball game. And Japan back-to-back ISF Women's World Championships for the first time ever. Their 3rd championship overall. Our final score, Japan 4, the United States 1. We'll be back to wrap things up from Haarlem, Netherlands, right after this.